Welcome back to the Doing All the Things Challenge. I am Kate, and right off the bat, testing for ketones this morning. And as you can see, a trace amount showing there. As we can see, my sleep is still improving up to 5 hours and 15 minutes. Still not hitting that sleep goal yet. I did go on my walk today, and not bad on the time because keep in mind, I do walk that walk one way one day, the opposite way the next day. And I do want to point out, actually, let's talk about some tips because I did not want to go on that walk today. I've not been very motivated to do much at all today. And so it really was about just taking that first step. I think I said it in yesterday's video. I might have said it a few times already, but it really boils down to just taking that first step. And then once you take that first step, you can tell yourself, look, I can walk 5 steps and turn back around and come home. I can walk till the end of the block. I can walk as slow as I want, which is what I did today as well. I initially had the intention of running those hills, which I did end up doing on my walk, but initially I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna walk it, even if it takes me an hour. Fine, at least I get my walk done. So take the first step, go slow if you need to go slow, but still get it done. Some other tips are gonna be, prepping and planning. So prepping meals for the week or planning meals for the week. That's one of the reasons I like to make my 30 plants list is because it does give me an idea of, oh, I've got these plants, what meals can I make with these plants? So at the same time, I'm kind of planning meals as well. Checking the weather, I think that's a really important thing to do, especially if you're gonna be walking outside like I do. And you've had a lot of rainy weather like we have, or maybe it's really hot and you want to walk in the evening. But I have found that checking the weather is a pretty helpful thing to do. And if you are going to start incorporating exercise into your routine, I would say, put that in your mind as you're going to bed and what that's going to look like tomorrow when you're waking up, right? What are you going to wear? You're going to get up, you're going to get dressed, you're going to do what, X, Y, Z, right? Put that in your mind, start to set that intention there first and visualize that intention. Just to put that there, how is it going to look when I start doing this? And of course, I've said this one a few times too, keep bottles of water handy, in sight and mind. That way you will keep up with drinking your water. Now, if you're not a fan of water or just don't like it in general, keep in mind ice water is usually pretty good and refreshing, and adding some lemon as well. And that normally does not break a fast, adding that lemon. Also just researching other recipes, things that might make this challenge a bit more fun for you. And keep in mind, if you do need some recipes or meal ideas that are low carb or incorporating those 30 plants per week, I do have those videos on my YouTube channel as well. And I know I feel like I'm slurring my words, I'm all over the place. I'm not feeling very good right now. And today I've been irritable. That emotion I don't care to feel. So, just bothered and again, highly unmotivated, but powering through and getting all these challenges done, right? The other tip I want to share with you guys is allow options. So going back to what I'm doing with Pilates and the resistance band. And if I get too sore, well, then I'm going to stretch because it doesn't make sense to keep doing something if it's hurting you. That's not going to be beneficial. If you need to be flexible with yourself and your goals, then do so. That is important as well. So allow yourself those options. And I think for now, that's really all the tips I do have. Again, I'm just not kind of with it today wanting to do anything, so I do apologize, but at least I've got this video done. And by the way, remember I mentioned that money I won yesterday? Yesterday I talked about the few dollars I won on some lottery tickets. I really thought it was only like $3 and it turned out to be $11. So going to place that $11 in this envelope here again as a goal towards that, $5,000 increase. So just gonna kind of jot that down, and we've got minus 11, so quite a ways to go there, right? Yesterday, when talking about expectations, I mentioned resting heart rate. And so as you can see, in just a matter of 3-4 days, it went from 73 for the resting heart rate 64, 59, 54, 58 today. So I thought it was interesting that it is a little bit higher today. However, I wonder if that's because I was fasting those previous days. And then now I've started to incorporate more food, especially today, more food. But again, makes me wonder just really the impact that fasting does have on us internally. And so these are the meals I've eaten the past few days calorie-wise, really just kind of showcasing the calories. I know we haven't talked much about calories, mainly carbs, and we'll talk a little bit more about the carbs here in a moment. But just so you guys can kind of see the difference in the resting heart rate. Breaking today's fast at 16 hours, about 46 minutes. And today, pretty simple. Scrambled eggs with cheese, 2 eggs, and 2 pieces of bacon. It does look like 4 because this is like my bacon hack, as I cut the package in half. I also feel like it tricks the mind, right? So now instead of having 2 pieces of bacon, I'm having 4, but it really is 2. But I love that hack, and I just wanted to share that. I'm also going to be having some more of this is what's left over from yesterday's fruit, so probably gonna eat some of those, definitely finish those cherries. Tonight's dinner added some additional plants for our 30 plants per week, part of the Doing All the Things challenge. So we were at 16, we've got 17, because I'm having homemade fresh salsa. So I'm going to add the jalapeno there. We've already got the white onion accounted for from yesterday. So 17. Wow, I'm surprised I did not add a jalapeno to this list. And again, I pre-made the list because I pretty much know I have an idea of what I eat on a regular basis. And we do tend to have salsa, homemade salsa, pretty often. So I'm just gonna, and I don't even know how to spell it, might be an E. So jalapeno makes that 18. I am having the iceberg lettuce because I'm making a salad. Avocado. I think that's all the additional ones today. So I added like an additional 3. So up to 19 plants. Nope, 20 plants so far for the week. And yes, the cucumber, totally forgot to add that one. It's on the list, but obviously now added to that count. And I did want to point out too, the beans. I did use pinto beans. Those also count, so I'll be adding those to the list and the count as well. And talking about pinto beans and carbs and calories, right? The pinto beans are a much higher carb count. Normally not recommended when you're just starting out a low carb diet because they are much higher in carbs. However, again, here's where I'm not really caring about that because I'm eating such a small amount of carbs to begin with. But I'm not going to be eating bread and chips, just those more natural things. And here we have day 4's dinner. Cooked at home nonetheless. Let's tackle our list of challenges. So no alcohol, no weed, no cigarettes. I did my 2-mile walk. I did my Pilates with a resistance band, working on increasing or reaching that $5,000 goal. I am eating 30 different plants. I did fast for a minimum of 16 hours. And by the way, that was a clean fast. So far this week, all the fasts have been clean fast. I am eating lower carb, even though, again, I did have a higher carb today, like those beans. Still lower carbs overall for the day. I think like 66. And then when you factor in the fiber, maybe around 50 or something. I'm not too sure, but lower carbs still. I did my 1 minute of mindfulness. Now sleep, as we could see, still not hitting that goal, so it does not get a check yet. And as much as I have not wanted to post this video or put much effort into it because I just don't have motivation, I still did it and got it done. So yay, I get to check that one off. I did work my shift today, so yay. 3 bottles of water, yes. I did have some tea. I have actually already closed all the rings on my Apple Watch, and I did cook at home. Now I am going to check the work on a passion because I realized the other day, every time I post a Kate Heart, that is in accordance with that ultimate goal of setting the record, right, for the Guinness World Records. So I'm going to check that one because that is something I am still doing daily, and it is in accordance with that goal. Find your why. Let's talk about why you're doing this challenge. I want to know why, so let me know down in the comments as far as why I'm doing this challenge. Well, I wasn't proud of the behaviors I'd been doing. They were becoming a bit too consistent for me to be comfortable with, and just not feeling good about myself is definitely a motivating factor to do this challenge. I've just gotten to a point where I don't feel like I know who I am anymore because the outside isn't matching what I really know I can be and who I am. And I'm just not physically comfortable when I gain weight. So keep in mind, it doesn't have to be one why. It can be, well, there are several things. You know, I finally got to this point, and this point is my why. And then also, too, for the mental benefits, you know, trying to see one impact eliminating alcohol, weed, and cigarettes is going to have on my mentality, and walking and doing Pilates instead. So overall, too, the why for me is to be healthier mentally, physically, just for my soul to have a bit more health and peace all around. So for me, that is my why. I am going to invite you to, you know, ask yourself that same question. And it doesn't have to be one thing. It can be 15 things. You know, it could be a million things, or hey, maybe it is just one thing and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to make a change. So thank you for participating in this challenge and making those changes. Again, drop your why down in the comments for me. I'd love to hear what's motivating you. So as I said throughout the video, just not really feeling it today. I've noticed like slurring my speech, maybe speaking fast at times. And I think a lot of that's just anxiety, but it's really frustrating because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna slur my words, I may as well be drunk while I'm doing it. No, I'm kidding. But it is frustrating, right? And then being irritable, feeling sad. So just really emotional overall right now. And just wanted to share that with you all. Definitely unmotivated today and very forgetful. So just mentally a lot going on. Don't know. I have an idea what's going on there, but it is what it is. But really just glad to have day 4 done and posted and having had accomplished everything I've set out to accomplish today. The major thing being this video. So if you're watching this video, thank you so much. If you've enjoyed it, or just want to send me some motivation, hit that like button or leave me a comment. I would greatly appreciate that. I also want to know how you all are doing on your journey. So let me know down in the comments how you're feeling, how you're doing. I would love to see that too. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 5 of the Doing All the Things challenge.